Okay, we are on record in the matter of Sierra Pfeiffer. This is case number 120-1579-DL, and we're here today with regard to a petition filed by Sierra's probation officer, Ms. McCoy, alleging one count of a probation violation. The order states that the existing order was just entered after a review hearing on February 3rd. Ordering Sierra to obey the lawful commands of her parents and to be placed in her parents' home. And the allegation in the petition is that on or about February 13th of 2022, Sierra was absent from home without permission. That was a Sunday, and the probable cause statement indicates that her parents had reported this as a runaway, and she did not have permission to be away from home. So, as I said, I'm attorney referee Erin Magley. We have Sierra here. We have Sierra with her mother, Ms. Pfeiffer, and we have her probation officer, Tammy McCoy. And I don't believe I've had a hearing with you before, Sierra, but I did review your file, and I reviewed the last review summary and dispositional summary, and
she's gone.
Oops. She should. We've been having like just some weird kind of connectivity issues. So hopefully she comes back on.
She said, and she's gone.
And she's out. That was like a heck of a mic drop.
Will she just get back on?
She should. I stopped the recording, but she didn't make me co-host, so I can message her.
Okay, here she comes.
Is she?
I just admitted her. It popped up on my screen.
Oh, did it? Good. Okay, good.
I don't know what happened there. I think I pushed the wrong button. So did I just disappear while I was talking?
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Okay. I don't know if it was my internet or if I actually did something, because I was pulling up her review summary from the last hearing. And so I might have accidentally closed down Zoom, but I'm glad we're all back again. So we're here on disposition on this petition that you have in front of you. Sierra, you saw a copy of the petition that I just read?
Yeah.
Okay, you have several rights with respect to determining whether or not you violated this probation order. You have the right to have a full evidentiary hearing where the burden would be on your probation officer who's alleging that you violated probation to prove that you violated your order. She would have to prove that by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt, as she would need to do if it was a criminal charge. But you would have the same rights as at a criminal hearing. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you. You have the right to have witnesses called in your defense and to choose to call witnesses. And to cross-examine witnesses that are called against you. You would have the right to testify if you want to, but you cannot be required to testify. It's your own choice, and your decision not to can't be used against you, and you can appeal as well. And you can object to any order of a referee if you want to have the judge review my findings. Okay, do you feel like you understand the rights that you have today with respect to this charge?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. McCoy, did you go over Sierra's rights with her at all, or have you?
Not specifically the rights with her. I did give her a copy of the petition and the probable cause statement. We did go over that and explained procedurally how this particular hearing would go. And just to clarify, it is scheduled as an adjudication hearing on the PV. I've spoken to Sierra at length as to what a recommendation would be, and if the court is okay with moving straight to disposition, given the fact that it's a probation violation, we would be prepared to do so today if she's entering a plea.
Okay. So that was my next question. It sounds like you've apprised her of the possible or likely dispositions.
Correct.
Okay. And I did see Sierra was in detention following this incident.
So originally, Your Honor, she was called in as a runaway. Upon returning to the home, there was a police report that was submitted. The police agency had picked her up on a corresponding domestic violence charge, which was not authorized by the prosecutor's office. And the probation violation petition was written for the initial incident with her not following parents' rules and
Okay.
leaving the home without permission.
But did she went into detention and then was released on the 14th?
Correct, because the petition was not authorized. She was released immediately.
Okay. So I don't have a written recommendation, or I have no idea what Ms. McCoy would be recommending. It sounds like you probably do have an idea what she might be recommending, Sierra. I just need to let you know that I could order, regardless of what she may be recommending, I could order, or the judge could order detention time for you or placement outside of your home, as well as a host of other possible dispositions. That doesn't mean that that's what I would order, but you need to understand what the possible dispositions are if you're planning to enter a plea today. Okay?
Yeah.
Is it your decision are you planning to plead guilty to the charge?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ms. Pfeiffer, do you believe your daughter understands her rights?
Yes.
All right. And do you agree with her decision to enter a plea today? Do you think that's the best decision on her part?
Yes.
Okay. Sierra, has anyone said anything to you that made you feel pressure in any way, or was a promise or a threat or anything that made you feel like you had to admit to this charge today instead of having a full hearing?
No.
Okay. So I am going to swear you in and then take some testimony from you and decide whether or not I can accept your plea to this charge. And then it sounds like Ms. McCoy is prepared to handle disposition today. Are you both comfortable with that if we decide what the consequences are rather than setting it for another hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down, and I need you to state your full name for the record.
Sierra Lynn Piper.
Okay. And why don't you tell me what happened on February 13th that was a violation of your probation?
I went out of my house without asking, and my parents called the cops on me, and I came home, and my dad was dragging me up the stairs and he was getting close to me, so I kicked him, and my mom called the cops and they came to get me and brought me to detention.
Okay. So what you're charged with today is violating the order that you follow the expectations in the home of your parent, the rules of your parents. And when you left the home, it sounds like you all were having a dispute or an argument of some kind when you left. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, not before. Not when she left.
Yeah, me and my dad were having an argument. She wasn't home.
Okay. All right. So you left as a result of the argument or in the middle of the argument with your dad?
Yeah, in the middle of an argument.
Okay. And when you left, how long was it before you returned?
I'm not sure.
Was it more than an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it the next day?
No, it was probably like an hour and a half.
Okay. And did you have your dad's permission to leave?
No.
Okay. Is leaving or taking a break part of like a safety plan for you with respect to de-escalating things?
Taking a break, yeah.
And how are you supposed to do that? Are you supposed to go to your room or somewhere else?
Yeah, just go in my room.
Okay, so was leaving the house a violation of what you understood the rules or expectations to be at the home?
Yeah,
Okay, and you knew, did you know that that would be a violation of your probation if you left in that way?
yeah, I did.
Okay. So Sierra, with respect to the charge that you violated your probation by violating parents' rules, how do you plead?
I plead guilty.
Okay, I'm going to accept that guilty plea, and that means you'll be adjudicated. This will be a probation violation on your record. I'm going to hear a recommendation from Ms. McCoy about disposition. You understand what disposition means?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm going to hear a recommendation from her, and then I'll give you a chance to tell me what you think. And I will, and I'm sorry, I should have been more clear on this question at the very beginning, but I got a little thrown off by the fact I got kicked off of Zoom. Did you want to waive an attorney, your right to have an attorney for this hearing?
yes,
Okay, and you're in agreement with that, Ms. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Okay, so you'll have a chance, Sierra, to say what you think should happen as a result. And your mom will also have a chance to say what she thinks should happen as a result of this probation violation. And then I'll make a recommendation, an order, which you could object to and see the judge if you felt I made the wrong decision. Okay, you understand all that?
yeah,
All right, Ms. McCoy?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Currently, Sierra is obviously in the home of her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Pfeiffer. I am requesting at this point, and if I can give a little bit of a background as to why the dispositional recommendation. We all know that nobody's perfect, and we do understand that sometimes Sierra still struggles to listen to some of the rules in the home or engage appropriately with her parents to make sure that rules are being followed and being respectful. However, the Sierra that initially came onto probation, Your Honor, and the Sierra currently has been absolutely less criminal. She has been following the rules for the most part. She has been completely engaging. While we understand that sometimes we get to see a side to kids that maybe parents don't necessarily see in the home as well. She's been extremely compliant, engaging with this worker every single time we meet. We're working on some particular skill, and she's participating really well, and probably one of the smartest kids on my caseload who is able to regurgitate any of that information that you ask of her to repeat back that she's learned. So she's continuing to make progress. And I would like to see her to continue to do so in the home. School, she's been doing well. I mean, going again, looking at where she was with not attending or not participating, and she's currently at Zealand Venture right now. As of today, she's a little bit behind in her algebra class, so I would like to see her focus on that. But Sierra has continued to be one of the students who has been consistent, and she's ahead in her English class actually. So she's working hard out of school and even on the weekends while she's holding down a job, which is new to her since being on probation as well. My understanding from both parents and Sierra, she's been giving them money out of paychecks and sticking to that so that then they can place those funds coming directly from her pay to her court costs and fines. So hopefully, payments on those will continue to be made maybe in larger sections so that she can get that all taken care of prior to being discharged from probation. So as of right now, what I spoke to Sierra about, I really would like her to actually think about and not just check a box and get this assignment done, but to specifically just keep the prior orders in effect. She's seeing a counselor, Sarah Patterson, through school, who is through Mosaic, but she is available to Zealand Venture students. I have touched base with Sarah, and she says that Sierra has continued to meet with her periodically. So prior orders just for her to continue with that counseling, for her to remain home with her parents, and the standard rules of probation, which she is aware of. I am asking that she complete a writing assignment, Your Honor, just a one-page assignment. I would like her to write an essay about how running away and not following parents' rules breaks down trust in the home. I am asking a short turnaround time so that she has that completed by Monday. Sierra voluntarily has been engaging in an art project group that I'm doing with her and another student, focusing around hope. So we're designing a bench to be displayed out at JJI. So we've worked on, and Sierra was instrumental, in the design of that and kind of where that project went from there. So I appreciate her dedication to that, which she's earned community service hours for doing that. A couple times we've had some conflict with work. My understanding, she will be able to participate in that Monday night. So I'm just asking that she continue with what she's doing and really have a conversation with parents about, those goals that she's set with improving relationship at home. And so I'm hoping that she really spends some time to think about what she writes in that essay. Otherwise, I don't feel that any additional sanction is needed at this time.
Okay, thank you for that report. Sierra, did you have anything you wanted to add or say about that? Do you understand what's being recommended?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Did you want to add anything?
No.
Do you agree with it? The
Yeah.
recommendation? Okay. Ms. Pfeiffer, did you want to add anything?
No.
What do you think of the recommendation? Are you in agreement?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said at the beginning, Sierra, before I got bounced off, I did review the report that Ms. McCoy submitted for your last hearing. And it really, there's so much positive in there, Sierra, that you should be proud of the progress that you've made. Obviously, you still have things to work on. So that report doesn't show that you're, like Ms. McCoy said, it doesn't show that you're perfect, but it shows that you can do great things. And it shows that you have a lot of potential you have corrected a lot of the things that you needed to work on. And that means that you can continue to progress and work on the things. I wonder, Ms. McCoy, I don't want to change your assignment at all. I like that idea about how it is breaking down trust. And I wonder though, and maybe you have already talked to Sierra about this and it wouldn't be worthwhile to include it. But I want to make sure that in some format, Sierra has thought about alternatives, because you're going to get into arguments with your family members. I mean, that's normal. That's going to happen. It's how you handle those disagreements that really shows the progress that you can make and the capabilities that you have. And so if you haven't, already talked to Ms. McCoy about what are some alternatives to how I reacted and to the emotion, letting my emotions control what I was doing, I think that might be helpful too. And so it doesn't necessarily need to be part of the essay, and it may already be something that you've thought through. But I think that it's important to consciously think through that so that you can tap into those ideas the next time you're really upset or frustrated or angry with someone, whether it's someone in your house or outside of your house, but particularly in the home setting. And that's something that everybody in a family should be kind of prepared to think about, how you're going to work together to avoid things becoming dramatic and chaotic, and how to deal with conflict in a healthy way, because the conflict is going to be there regardless. You just have to figure out what's the healthiest way to handle these things. But with your work and with your school and everything that you've been doing, it really sounds like you have a lot to be proud of and a lot to build on for you're kind of taking your future into your own hands, and you have the capability to do that and really succeed. So that makes this incident, you know, really disappointing, but also it makes it something that you can overcome. So I appreciate the recommendation. I think it was well thought through and appropriate. I'm going to approve that. I did see in your last order that you haven't made a lot of payments, and it's set at $25 a month. I think it's awesome that you're working and you're able to balance work and school. It seems like if you're working at Vitalis, you should be, is that where you're working?
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like you should be able to pay a little bit more than the 25 a month, but I don't know how much you're working. And so I think Ms. McCoy is encouraging you to do that. And, you know, there's always some options too that you may have already talked to your caseworker about with extra community service and waiving things or earning the money through. I know there's some restitution that must be paid, but I'm always impressed with extra community service, and that project that you're doing sounds really cool and like something that you can look at and be proud of. So that sounds like a cool project. But I mean, you're still working on things and you need to continue working on things. So I'm glad you have a counselor and that you're really participating with the things that your caseworker is asking you to do. And there's, you know, frustrations that your parents are probably having, and you need to be willing to listen to them and problem solve with them. How could we handle this differently in the future? Everybody all around, how could we handle this differently so that we handle it in the healthiest way possible? So I am going to enter this order. It sounds like everybody's on the same page with it. There are no additional fines or fees or any, actually, yeah, no, there's no additional fines or fees. So we'll just have this additional consequence. Are you keeping the review date for April with Judge?
And thank you, Your Honor. That was the next thing that when I had the opportunity, I hadn't mentioned before. I am requesting in this order, Your Honor, to cancel the hearing that's set on April 7th. Previously, her hearings while she was in Lighthouse were scheduled in front of Judge Fyan as required. There's no longer that necessity. I would like to push this out a little bit to see Sierra's progress and how she does. And since we're just meeting today and moving to disposition, I would like to cancel the hearing on April 7th and set the next review for May 25th. That is a Wednesday at 4 p.m. in front of you, Your Honor. So that way, I think the 4 o'clock also works out a little bit better for family. So I would prepare a dispositional report after this hearing, and I will submit that to the court as well as supply copies to the parents, and it would reflect that cancellation in the May 25th at 4 new review date.
Okay. Did you follow that, Sierra?
Yes.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. That gives you some time here to really show continued growth, and all of the things that Ms. McCoy went over, we can hear a report on and give you a chance to get some of those fees and fines, make some progress there. That'll feel good to get that taken care of. So I'm glad to hear that you are attending to that. You've been attentive to it. It sounds like you've been giving some money to your parents to help take care of those fees and fines. So that's great. We'll go ahead and adjourn, and we'll be back for a review on May 25th. And I really hope that we don't see you before then, because I'd like that to be a really positive review. I think you can do that. Okay, great. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Thank you. Bye, Deborah. Bye, Sierra.